everyone, Jim here. Welcome to my channel. Yesterday I had a little bit of an outing. My wife and I drove into Toronto where we attended the Toronto Pulp show and sale at the Lillian H Smith branch of the Toronto Public Library. And there we had the pleasure of meeting up with Andreea from Infinite Text and Evan from Stygian Dogs. Now, I didn't take any film or video, but I'm going to steal a couple of their photographs and I'm going to put them up here and to show you, to share them with you. I didn't do a vlog, I didn't film anything, but I did pick up a few things that I wanted to share with you today. But first of all, I wanted to thank both Andreea and Evan for a fantastic day. We met up there. We picked up a few things, perused all the stuff, and then we went out and we had a bite to eat and a drink, and it was a lot of fun, and that was the high point of my day, was meeting them and getting to spend a little time with them. That was a lot of fun, and they're two great people, and I'm going to post their channels down below if you don't already follow them, and you should be following them because they're fantastic. So I'm going to share with you what I picked up. I picked up quite a bit, actually. But I kind of wish, when I go to those things, I always, I don't spend as much time as I should at the tables, but I still managed to pick up a lot. But I did want to go back and check out the paperbacks, more paperbacks than I didn't. But I did get some paperbacks. I picked up The Fighting Swordsman. This is the Sword and Sorcery anthology edited by L. Sprague de Camp. And this has stories, Conan story, Elac, Brack, and Elric's story. And these are just fantastic old anthologies. And this is from Pyramid Books. And the price is right for $10. If I was to order this online, I'd be spending a heck of a lot more than that. So I was happy to find that. And as I said, there was a lot of paperbacks that I was really interested in and I wanted to go back and look at. It was a small room. It was getting a little hot, so, we decided to get out of there and go get something to eat. I also got Phantom paperback, and this is the Phantom from the comic strip created by Lee Falk, and this is The Vampire and the Witch, and that's just a beautiful cover. I've got 4 of these on my shelf, and I'd kind of like to get the whole series. These are very, very cool. The covers are fantastic. Just a beautiful little paperback, and so that was a nice find. And I got a Shadow paperback. I don't know who did the cover of that. Some of you might know, but it's a beautiful cover. It's number 5 in the Shadow series, The Master of Darkness, Double Z by Maxwell Grant. So that's just a lovely cover. And again, the price is right, only $10. And there's a shadow on the back. So I was happy to find these paperbacks. I wish I grabbed a few more paperbacks, but I got a whole bunch of other cool stuff as well. Now, on my way out, I grabbed some actual pulp magazines. I didn't want to go there without, walking out with some pulp magazines, so I grabbed 4 at half the cover price, so the price was right. Now, these aren't in the greatest condition, and you might look at them and say, like, why did you buy those particular ones? The covers aren't necessarily the greatest covers, and they're in bad shape, but I was looking at the stories inside, and I'll show you right now why I picked these up. This one is Popular Detective, and not in the greatest shape again, and this one's been trimmed. A lot of these old pulp books have been trimmed by people, and they've been made smaller, but they trim off the rough edges, so this one's a little smaller than other pulps. You'll see it's a little shorter. But the reason I got this is there's a Frederick Brown story in this one, and Frederick Brown is a great writer. And I'm assuming the stories have been reprinted elsewhere, but this has got a Frederick Brown story in it, The Cat from Siam. And there's, of course, artwork on the inside. These had great black and white drawings. But here I'm opening up, and the thing's so fragile. But a lovely magazine nevertheless. This one is called Triple Detective. And I got this one because of the Jonathan Latimer story in it. But also, You know, it's I mean, these other stories might be great to read, and you know, I do read the stories in these. I did buy some online one time, and they were missing pages, and I sent them back because I'm not getting them for the cover. I'm getting them for the stories. Let's see if I can find some more artwork here for you. There's a story called "You Made Me Die," and that's by Morris Cooper. So that's Triple Detective, and I got Crack Detective, and it has a story by Talmadge Powell, and he was he did a lot of pulp stories back in the day, and he's a very good detective writer. You'd see him appear later in a lot of the digest magazines like Mike Shane Mystery Magazine and Manhunt Magazine. So that's Crack Detective. Very rough edges on this, but you know, and they were cheap. They were cheap enough, and that's why I got them. And there's some artwork from the inside. And then the last actual pulp magazine I got was this one, 2 detective mystery novels, and this has another one by Frederick Brown, and this is an Ed and Am Hunter novel in this, and you might know the story. The Fabulous Clip Joint was the first in the series of the Ed and Am Hunter novels, so yeah, I was very happy to get these with those stories in them, and they are kind of lovely looking pulp magazines, even though that one's been written on. But yeah, so I was happy to get those. I got a couple of Manhunt Digest mystery magazines, and these are tough to find. I've only got like one of these on my shelf that I've ever found anywhere, so to see them at the booth, and I think it was Scene of the Crime Books, if I remember correctly, and you know, he's got a great booth, and he lists all the stories and the authors on the back, which is great, so you don't have to open it up if you're kind of wondering what stories or what authors are in them. And that's just a fantastic cover, and it's got a Henry Kane story in it, and it's got, like, this has a lot actually. This has a Henry Kane story, Bruno Fisher, Craig Rice, Fletcher Flora. It's got an Evan Hunter story. So yeah, and yeah, that was a good find. And I've got another Manhunter. This one here, it's got another Henry Kane story. And these are in really good shape. And as I said, they're a little hard to find out there. And this has another Henry Kane. It's got a Richard S. Prather story, Richard Deming, Harold Q. Masseur, Evan Hunter. Yeah, so yeah, I was happy to get these. I only got the 2 because I mean, you know, you're going to pay for them. This one was $30, and that one was $40, but well worth it. And at the one booth where I got the paperbacks, they were giving these away for free with any purchase. This is Blood of the Gods and Other Stories by Robert E. Howard. And I had no idea. She just kind of passed it to me and said, here you go. And this is full of Alborac stories. It's just a lovely book. And this is from Girasol Press, edited by Paul Herman, Girasol Collectibles. It's got an introduction by Paul Herman. It's got The Country of the Knife, Hawk of the Hills, The Daughter of Urla Khan, Blood of the Gods, Swords of Shahrazar, and an afterword. And this was just a pleasant surprise. And I it's going to go up on my shelf. I love that book. And the fact they're giving away for free, awesome. Now I got this hardcover, Hard-Boiled, edited by Bill Pronzini and Jack Adrian. This is an anthology of American crime stories. Now, there was this one and another which I meant to go back for. I think it was called Hard-Boiled Detectives, and I didn't go back for it. I forgot. But I got this one, and that's a nice hardcover with, some great old crime stories from Dashiell Hammett, W.R. Burnett, Raoul Whitfield, Frederick Nebel, Paul Kane, Chester Himes, Norbert Davis, John D. MacDonald, Elmore Leonard, Jonathan Craig, David Goodis, Ross MacDonald. I mean, this is a great book. Gil Brewer, Lee Brackett, and I wish I'd gone back for the other one. It was at a different booth, and I forgot all about it. But still, look at that. That's a great, great book, and I'm happy to add that to my collection. That's great. And I met a writer named Don Hutchinson, who wrote the great Pulp Heroes, and he's a writer who contributes to books about pulp magazines and that. But I met him there, and I bought this off him, the revised edition. I got him to sign the inside, and I didn't get much of a chance to talk to him, but I'm happy to get this book about the great pulp heroes, and it talks about the Shadow, Doc Savage, G8, the Spider, Operator Number 5, Captain Future, and the Westerns, Trail of the Rio Kid. So, I was happy to get that, and I'm going to enjoy reading that when I get around to it. Now, I did get one of the Pulp recreations, Spicy Mystery. And that was at the same booth where Don Hutchinson was, and I got that last book. And, that just got some great old pulp stories in there. And that was like $15 for some good old pulp stories. And so that was cool. And there's I got this magazine, the Pulpster magazine, which talks about the pulps and gets into the spices, and it talks about Edgar Rice Burroughs and Black Mask magazine. And so that was a good find. Now these next two are art books, and I kind of got them kind of last minute as well, and I wasn't going to get them, but I'm kind of glad I did. I've got J. Allen St. John is an artist who was famous for doing work for Edgar Rice Burroughs. He did a lot of the Tarzan stuff, and I was happy to get that because I just love his art. And that's the cover. Let's see if I can find some Tarzan stuff. Yeah, he there's a cover he did for Clarence E. Mulford, who did the Hopalong Cassidy books. He did a lot of Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff. Just beautiful, beautiful artwork. So I was happy to walk away with this one, even though I'm trying to get rid of stuff, and I have so much stuff as it is, but this was just too beautiful to pass up. And I have, last but not least, I have this book, and this is called Songs of Giants, and this has poetry from Robert E. Howard, Edgar Rice Burroughs, and H.P. Lovecraft, and it's illustrated throughout in black and white by Mark Wheatley. And there's the back. And let me show you the inside. I'll show you a good one on the inside. Well, there's the end papers. And there's a poem called The Madness of Cormac by Robert E. Howard. Red Thunder by Robert E. Howard. Beautiful black and white artwork. So this was kind of, I debated about it, but I'm glad I got it. Here's H.P. Lovecraft, The Cats. A Lady's Chamber by Robert E. Howard. Let me find Battle Song by H.P. Lovecraft. So that was, I was happy to get that. And again, I want to thank Andreea and Evan for meeting me down there. It was a great day, and it was a great time, and I just wanted to share that with you real quick. And hopefully you've all been enjoying your weekend and you enjoy your upcoming week. June on the Range starts tomorrow, so I'm going to have to work on another video for the onset of June on the Range. So until then, you guys take care. I will talk to you very soon. You keep reading.